This weekend, I beat what will probably be one of the best games I ever play in my life. It took nearly 20 years for me to finally hit the credits of Shadow of the Colossus, and it was worth all of it. It's one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had, and I want to talk sort of about this experience with you today. Now, October 2005, I remember getting in the mail official PlayStation magazine. In fact, I still have this demo disc. It had Shadow of the Colossus on it, the first demo. Only one Colossus to fight. Most of the world, the developers had wisely locked away. They put boulders and trees. But even still, I remember playing that demo over and over again. I had never experienced a game like this, with such minimalist design, a beautiful world, unique music, and gameplay like nothing I've ever experienced. And ultimately, asked my folks to pick me up a copy. I still have my PlayStation 2 copy. I didn't beat it on the PS2. I think I only got about, say, 30-40% of the way through. Loved it, but I don't remember if I got stumped or what happened. There was a pretty big gap in those years. I started to play games quite a bit less. There's like 4 or 5 years where I was really focused on racing mountain bikes. I still loved gaming. Of course, this is the similar timing as Halo 2 and then Halo 3. That pulled my focus away, but it was in the back of my mind. I knew I needed to finish that game. So fast forward to 2011. I think that's around the time I got a PS3 Slim. I was pretty late to the PlayStation 3 party, but Shadow of the Colossus and Eco, the HD collection, was one of the first games I picked up. And once again, played, got about halfway through, and then sort of fell off for reasons. And this weekend, I made the decision. We have to finish it. This is one of those bucket list kind of games. I know I want to beat it. And I hit credits, and I got to tell you, it's all I can think about. This is one of the coolest games I've ever played. And it came out like almost 20 years ago. It nails minimalist design. It's got some of the prettiest visuals I've ever seen. And this is all on the PlayStation 3 version. It is a beautiful world, but it is also haunting. And the music somehow is able to be one of the main characters. It tells most of the story. You can just feel what you're doing and how the music is subtly steering what you should be feeling about your actions within that world. If you don't know about the game, it's pretty non-traditional, especially for the time. It's basically a boss rush kind of game. You go after Colossus. There's no standard enemies. There's no dungeons or temples or medallions to earn. It's just you taking on these colossi. And it's pure atmosphere. And that story is incredible. It's stuck in my mind. It's all I can think about. And I won't spoil anything here, and you shouldn't have it spoiled for you either. But all this was done on the PlayStation 2. It is truly mind-blowing. The performance isn't amazing on the PS2, but this is, in my mind, top 3 games on the system, without a doubt. And I've asked myself, why did it take so long to beat this? This is one of those mountaintop games. Ultimately, if I'm being honest, the game is kind of clunky. The controls will fight you. The camera is wild. The PlayStation 3 version has a physics bug since they bumped the frame rate. The frame rate's tied to the physics. Some of the Colossus in the game are really frustrating to fight because they shake more often than they should. But that's also partly why this game feels unique and meaningful. The animations are more detailed than just about anything you get these days. And the way it controls and feels part of it. It's part of that journey you go on. Real quick, if you are thinking about playing the game, the PlayStation 4 full remake is beautiful, but it absolutely loses something. It doesn't maintain the artistic tone that the original does. The face for Wander, the main character, looks awful in the PS4 version. And the art direction definitely shifts things, and it does change the feeling of the game. It's gorgeous, and it's probably the route that most people should go to play the game because it refines the controls and removes a few rough edges, but it is a different experience. I'm glad the remake exists. I'm like halfway through it right now. I will finish it up and probably have some more thoughts about it, but if you can play the original or the PS3 version, I would highly encourage it. So this whole experience got me thinking, what other Shadow of Colossus type things are in my life? We all have something like this, an experience we know we should try or complete, something we keep putting off. Maybe it's a game, a book, a hobby, a trip. And I'm curious, what is yours? What is that kind of lifetime game that you know you wanted to beat but haven't? Or an activity or a trip or something like that. This carried a lot of weight finishing this game. Yeah, it's an incredible masterpiece. I absolutely love it. But it's got me thinking, what are the back burner things in my life that I've just put off, that I should just step forward and do? I kept putting this game off because honestly, it was challenging for me to play. I got frustrated at some of the fights and the controls and some of these things, and I wrote it off. But just pushing through and doing it, I'm going to be thinking about Shadow of the Colossus forever now. This is going into the top 10 games I've ever played, I think. And I know there's got to be more things in my life that I've just sort of put off, backburnered, or lodged away that I should revisit. Things that maybe you push through. So what is your Shadow of the Colossus? What type of experience is it? Game, hobby, whatever. I'm very curious to hear what that is. This might be one of the greatest games I will ever play. And I almost missed out on it just because of life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Ultimately, this experience has got me super excited to kind of go back through not only my collection, but thinking through hobbies and activities and trips and just things I know that I want to do that have been putting off. Why not make this the year to go out and do them? We're almost at the end of the first quarter. I'm big into quarterly goals. I think it's a lot easier to keep track of than a yearly goal. And so this is perfect timing to revisit what are the things I've been kicking the can down the road on. It's finally time to take steps towards. Also, if you wouldn't mind letting me know what games you think are the must-play games of all time, the ones you can't miss out on, the Shadow of Colossus tier games, because now I'm totally thinking back through all these different eras of consoles going, what are the games that I missed that I need to experience at least once? Let me know down below. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday.